Anybody here to testify in favor of Senate Bill 77? What's that?
Minutes.
Well, it's gone pretty quick, so I'm being willy-nilly at the moment. We have a little bit of time, but I'd prefer to
Okay,
be
just-
as concise
Just
as
holler
possible.
stop, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chairman. Members of the committee, Susan Myers of the 20th, here in support of SB 77. I serve in leadership roles as an unpaid volunteer with 2 national nonpartisan organizations, both focused on women and firearms. I also lead my church's safety team. For women who choose to carry daily for self-protection, it's not about giving ourselves a false sense of being safe. It's about being prepared. Gun-free zones is the top priority for women in this state who carry for self-defense, being that they directly impact our concealed carry lifestyles daily. Regardless of how many on which side of the debate show up here or at city council meetings, the fact is that is not how the Second Amendment works. A statute either violates the right or it does not. Keeping an infringement in place for perceived reasons of enhancing public safety or placating customers is called interest balancing, and the Supreme Court has soundly rejected interest balancing tests when evaluating gun laws. At last week's House hearing, a witness in opposition acknowledged, quote, "It's not that the crimes are happening on the bus. It's just off the bus and when you get down around the corner that the violence occurs." Problem solved. That means it's likely no permit holder will ever have need to draw their weapon while on their buses and trains, but they could be prepared for what may be waiting for them around that corner. There are currently 7 states that restrict carry on public transit, up from only 3 prior to the Supreme Court Bruin decision in 22. 4 of those state bans are currently being challenged, and sadly, Missouri is not yet among them. But I was invited by the Second Amendment Foundation to speak at their annual Gun Rights Policy Conference last fall. I took that opportunity to bring to the attention of some of the top 2A litigators and organizations in the country the exasperating fact that Missouri is the only Republican-led state to have such a restriction. I will continue to draw attention to this in the Second Amendment circles for as long as it takes, because I fear for the women who rely on public transit that you are depriving of the most effective means of self-defense, and it needs to be corrected. Either through you or around you, gun-free zones have got to go. And Chairman, I'd ask permission to submit a couple testimonies from Women for Gun Rights. One is from the St. Louis area and intended to be here specifically to ask for her right to carry on Metro, but her babysitting arrangements fell through. And I also have a list of current states that banned public transit and churches, just because I'm used to them being linked together, as well as current status of the ongoing cases. And I even threw in a brief explanation on interest balancing.
Thank you. We'll get that distributed to the committee. Any questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony.
I'll go get it gathered up.
Sounds good. Anybody else here to testify in favor of Senate Bill 77?